We're here at Classic Firearms doing a warehouse tour, and we gave you a little sneak peek of their media room. And so we just decided to kind of do a video showing a lot of things because there is a lot of cool stuff, and we wanted to give you a little bit behind the scenes, and we're going to get Clint in on this as well.
So what you see right here is the SIG 365 macro. Like I said, is my concealed carry with the Alpha Omega holster. And when it comes down to, well, let's just say if I had any other types of threats pop up in a vehicle or anything, I've got my Mark 18, which we all know is superior to anything else you guys own. But this is a fantastic firearm, especially with the SOCOM 5.56 RC2 suppressor, Outtakes setup. You got the D-ball here for the night vision that I wish I had. Right now I've just got a PVS 14 monotube. 31s maybe one day, eventually. Until then I can just keep my fingers crossed and stay in debt. But anyway, so again, concealed carry, 365 macro, spare mag, because well, you never know when things might get out of hand, you're just going to need extra rounds. Seem fair enough?
What's up, Clint?
Hey Don, how are you doing?
We caught you, man, right in the middle of a video.
That's okay, that's what a pause button's for.
Come on out here. We're going to talk about a few things, and Graham, I know you're helping out, but let's, of course, Clint from Classic Firearms.
Good to see you, man.
This is Graham from Classic Firearms.
Howdy.
And Ryan's on the camera. So this is really cool. First time I ever came in here, I thought this would be great to get on video. Mm-hmm. And of course, Clint and I have done some stuff back here as well. Mm-hmm. So we just want to give you kind of a sneak peek behind what goes on behind the video production, because if you haven't watched Classic Firearms YouTube channel, it's excellent. And
that might be a little subjective.
No, it is. It's excellent.
Well, thank you.
And I mean, you got a huge following.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So give us a little insight on what goes on usually, like right here.
Oh, well, that's pretty easy. Typically, I stand up there and make up a bunch of things while Ryan's back here on the camera doing everything that's actually the hard work. But no, so actually, I mean, as you guys can see, there's a lot of technology incorporated into our video room now and putting out all the videos that we do. We have a wonderful team that we actually work with, because what you guys see ultimately is me in front of the camera. What you guys don't realize though is there's a lot of guys behind the scenes working editing. By the way, if our editors are watching, big shout out to y'all, because somehow y'all make me somewhat decent to look at. And on top of that, Ryan behind the camera, I mean, he's more than just a videographer when it comes down to all this stuff, because I can't tell you right now what any of these buttons do, but I'm pretty sure if I hit any of them, he's going to slap the heck out of me, right? So we've got this switchboard that allows him to kind of do on-the-fly editing, if you will. So we can switch from camera 1, 2, and 3, depending on, whatever might look best for that angle. And we also have our production assistant somewhere, and he'll stay here and try to focus and zoom in on whatever I might be talking about, because at the end of the day, we want it to be enjoyable for the viewers to watch.
Right.
And so if I'm talking about a specific part, let's say like on my Mark 18 right over there, which nobody's heard about, then it'd be cool to just kind of zoom in on that, like, oh, this is that he's talking about or something, right? And so there's a lot of technology that comes in, and of course none of this would be possible without, the viewers that you and I shared, and of course everybody at home, which is, again, a super cool thing. And part of that team too is like Graham. He works a lot with a lot of the manufacturers that we partner with and everything, and then his knowledge on stuff, I like to think I know some things about guns, and then when I talk to Matt and Graham, I'm like, I'm an ignorant, all right? I'm over here, I'm like, dude, you mean to be telling me you knew this, you know that, you know this? And I'm like, that shoots 8mm, right? Yeah. And so, it's really cool that we collaborate with so many different minds and perspectives, because we'll get Katie on the channel too. So now we get Katie, Matt, Graham, and now we got all these different demographics we're reaching out to, different perspectives, and it's a lot of people that get involved, and it's kind of cool for the viewers as well, because now all of a sudden, like, oh, hey, I relate to that. That Clint guy, he's way too high speed and tactical, talking about short barrels and silencers and night vision. I just want to know how to protect my family, and so.
But it's the entertainment is a lot to do with it.
Yes.
And people have to connect with you, and I think that's one thing that you do very well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And because you don't really know all that much about the guns, we have Graham here to help us out.
Right.
Plot twist.
Yeah, plot twist. Right, exactly. Yeah, don't you know I read off a script? Obviously, like, you put down the sign now, right?
I'm like Anchorman, yeah. But, one of the things about this, when YouTube first started, it was just simple cameras. It was kind of raw. raw a lot.
When our channel first started.
And that was part of the appeal. But once people really started putting in some, really good cameras, the lighting, and getting behind it and being very creative, it really kind of changed the dynamic, even though those early videos are still fun to do.
Your first, I mean, I'm sure it's been mentioned already and everything, your first warehouse tour over at the old facility.
Yeah.
Blew up, man. And it was little camcorder and, whoa, look at this box of guns as you open them up and a bunch of P64s go falling out, and you're like, that's cool, dude. And so, I mean, it's it's awesome too because it's so real.
Right.
There's nothing, we try to do all of our videos in one shot if we can, Every now and then I might screw up and say something wrong or whatever. I'm like, all right, let's just roll that back really quick and try again. But you're absolutely right though. I think people can relate more to those types of videos because it's like, that's exactly what I would do. And here these guys are doing it. And all I know is camcorder, pause, record, play, and that's that.
That's right.
So, no, it's a cool thing.
Well, it's, and two, I think that people want to see just some stuff that's kind of behind. You're not going to be able to see this. I mean, because one of the things, this isn't open to the public.
Right.
They have a business, there's a lot of guns here. And so it makes it really nice. And I'm very honored to be here. So
thank you.
Let's look around a little bit at some of the guns because I think that's one of the appeals. They've really made this kind of a man cave above man caves.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got,
we got a couple of
saws. Yeah. I mean, you've got, I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah, we got a M107 on the ground right now that's kind of covered in blood. We had some fun with ballistic dummy labs, and this is the remnants of him. And as you can imagine, it's a cool video. You guys will see it soon.
Yeah, that's video.
But standard size 249 semi-auto, which is cool and all, but then there's something out here. Graham. Sure. That looks old and
yeah,
that does not look cool at all.
Sure. So this is a 1919. It's actually set up as an A6. So it's an Israeli model. They have both 30-06 American ones and they have Israeli converted 308 ones, 7.62 by 51. That is what this is. So you have the full kit and caboodle with it. You have the bipod, you have the buttstock, carry handle. Is that cool? Old school surplus.
Man, that is absolutely awesome.
Yep.
I mean, can you imagine carrying that thing around?
It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's a nice ground gun. But you can also slide off the accessories real quick and then you can carry it around, kind of like Rambo. So easy peasy.
Okay, now over here on the wall.
Sure.
And of course, one thing I will mention, these are Securite walls, which we have at our place, and these things are awesome. So I guess this is Saddam Hussein's, is that right?
Yes, that is accurate. And Gaddafi, I think, too.
I thought it was Liberace's.
Liberace's, there we go. Honestly, it could be all three. So
Okay, and then we have this Dragunov.
No, it's a Chinese NDM86.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's one of the imported Chinese ones.
Of course, you have the STG, AUG.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of really cool classics up here.
Yeah.
The AUG, what's really cool about the AUG is it's an anniversary edition. So you have the original old school pre-ban donut reticle in there. And I don't know if you're able to get that with the sights on top, you actually have notch sights on top of that reticle.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Get this anniversary edition so it mimics exactly the pre-ban ones.
Which is cool. It's that 18-inch barrel too, right? It's a little bit longer barrel,
I
think.
believe so, yes, sir.
And then the VZ58, probably one of my favorite 7.62 by 39s, man. Yeah.
Yes.
And then the gun that really, I mean, when a lot of people look at the SIG MCX and the SCAR 16, they're like, man, that short stroke piston design, like, dude, that's so unique. I've never seen that before. And it's like, well, Eugene Stoner, who made the DI, he kind of did that too. So we have him to blame that with the AR-180 also,
Right.
Yes.
which is a super cool gun. So we've got kind of the OG MCX, if you will.
Yes.
Can I say that? Is that blasphemous to say that?
No, honestly, as soon as the MCX came out, I was like, wow, that is an AR-180 in essence, but a modernized one.
Right, yeah.
This is where they do their podcast. And we just sat here with Larry Vickers and Clint and just had a great time. A lot of talk, but man, a lot of great information, knowing a little bit more, honestly, about all three of us. It was just great. And so you can check out the Classic Firearms YouTube channel and the Vickers Tactical YouTube channel, which I highly recommend both. But it's a very cool setup. Okay, and then we've got quite a few. I mean, this just continues, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of really unique about this room. I mean, it's unbelievable. So here, of course, a lot of these are just standard guns. Now, let me ask you this, Clint, because like these guns up here, these are guns that you guys have used on the channel. It's some of the company owns a lot of these guns,
Yes,
and
so
you guys are able
some
to
of these are private owned between either myself, Ryan, Graham, whatever we might need to use for content and all, but a lot of this is definitely company guns. And what will happen is we'll get something new in. We might get something sent to us by a manufacturer, which I want to make sure we don't have anything out here that might be unavailable to talk about just yet, but it looks like I think we're good. But you know, they'll send us something and we'll run the heck out of it, and then we can't, in good faith or good conscience, you know, put that on the website to sell as a new firearm. Especially after I shoot it, because I am not easy on anything that I own personally, and if I don't own it, I'm definitely gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's accurate. That's accurate. There's no, I'm kidding. That's accurate.
So, but yeah, man. So you know, it's cool. So what we'll do on occasion though is if we get a hold of something like this, we offer what's called like gunsmith specials on our website, and sometimes we'll get a whole shipment of surplus in.
Is this going on the Gunsite website?
I mean, we might be able to work something out, but we might get like a whole shipment of surplus in. That's, you know, everything looks good, and then we'll have 2 or 3 that have like a broken stock, and we're like, well, what are we gonna do with this? And it's like, well, let's just put it up on a discount on the website. And sure enough, people are like, I need the part, not the gun, but I'm going to buy that because it's at a steep discount.
Right.
And the same thing can be said about some of these. Put it this way, it might be cool enough to feature in video, but not reach really our criteria for a giveaway, which we try to go big and bad with the giveaways, right? That's what draws the most attention. Right. And so they're like, okay, cool, we've run the heck out of it. I think we've gotten all the content we're going to get out of it. Let's put it on the website for a discount.
Right. So you just watch for that, because you never know when you might have something, you know,
that we shot.
really special.
Yeah, that we shot and absolutely destroyed. You know?
That Clint put through the ringer.
Right.
Okay, and then, I mean, they're just everywhere. I mean, this is so freaking cool. They're just all along the wall. A lot of Gallants, which are Galil.
Galil parts kits.
Right, Galil parts kits from the Gallant. They do that. James River Armory does it. I mean, and then, it just keeps going on. Of course, you know, your FN. I mean, these things are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, except the ammunition's $50 a box right now. Actually, it's come down
50
some.
rounds.
Yeah, magazine's 50 rounds. Then, of course, with the back wall, and you know, a lot of times if you watch the videos that are on Classic Firearms, a lot of these guns.
Yeah, we actually, we told Graham, we were like, hey man, you know what, dude? Why don't you have fun with the video room wall? We typically try to keep it kind of like nice and low key, and then all of a sudden I came in today, and he was like, well, I threw this up there, I threw that up there. You guys needed more old school cool up there, so he threw on an M1D. We've got a couple of other guns. I mean, we've got...
Yes,
Graham, you know, Graham, you talk about some of these because I love them, but I know you've got a certain passion that burns. Yeah,
True. That's fair. So we pulled out M1D Grands, right, which are the sniper versions Grands, which you can attach a scope to. They have a setup. Actually, I can pull that down. I guess.
We've given away one of these at SHOT Show 2019, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
That's incredible.
So just cool sniper Grands. Everyone asks about them because how do you put a scope on it? Well, it's offset. It's on the other side. So the M block pings out just as it normally does. Sometimes it dings the scope, but that's how they make that happen.
Yeah. And some people too notice the cheek piece on the side of it too. It's because that'll push your cheek weld just over enough to get a good sight alignment on that.
Agreed. Actually, I wonder if we can do that. That is your sight alignment, so you can kind of take that look. And I think that cheek piece is actually stuffed, so you can adjust that if you want it further pushed out or want it more closer in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a cool thing.
Yep.
Just below that, we've got the Mark 13 Mod 5 that we've recently acquired, and we did shoot a video on that with our buddy Texas Planking Brandon down in Texas, and we were running his Mark 13 Mod 0 versus our Mark 13 Mod 5 at about 700 yards or so, and having some pretty good fun with some 300 Win Mag awesomeness. And one of your least favorite rifles right here, right?
Yeah, the James River Armory M14.
Yeah.
I mean, forged receiver. Yeah. I mean, they're just beautiful. I love these guns.
Yeah, and Fulton Armory makes a fantastic one too. We did a giveaway on one of those that we set up just like the Black Hawk Down gun used by Randy Shughart, one of the Medal of Honor recipients. And in honor of him, we did that giveaway about 2 years ago, and I think that one did very well. And our buddy Mike Grantham got a hold of one also, and that may have been a behind the scenes type of collaboration, and and he loves that thing, man. And that was a cool thing too.
Is this one of the retros or is this an original?
No, that's a retro. Yeah. We wish it was original.
I mean, old school Vietnam era.
I think is that one of the so that's one of the Colt ones specifically. So you have everything on this gun should be specifically accurate, including I think the fencing as well. So the SP1s, the way you can tell that this is a Colt retro, if you turn that around actually and show the camera, that fencing on here, right here, is actually similar to what, or the lack thereof, is similar to what actually it would have been versus those SP1s.
These handguards are solid. Some of the retros I've messed with have been a little bit weak, so that's pretty cool as well.
What was it was a FAL. We were shooting full auto at Kalash Bash, and we were running that thing, and the fore end off of it just popped right off. And I was like, well, that would have been a little spicy.
Yeah, that is
but we
spicy.
just put it back on, tighten down the nut, and you're good.
And then we have, of course, we have a Star Wars, clone trooper or stormtrooper helmet.
It's surplus.
Is that surplus?
Surplus.
That's
from a
it's
galaxy
after
far, far away.
Mandalorian.
That's actually my hand-select helmet. So
And of course, again, I mean, a lot of these firearms they're using for different projects. So you can see what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, there is a lot that goes on, a lot of different firearms. And just gives you a good base of knowledge.
Yeah, and we wait too, because you'll notice some. We've got different giveaways that we'll host all the time. And when you do a firearms giveaway like that, we have to contact the winner, and the winner is going to provide us with documentation from their FFL and everything. So it's just like an online purchase would be made. However, and they don't spend money. So an order is still made, or we'll reach out to that, and then we create a order for them without them having to pay for anything, and then it gets shipped to their FFL. Sometimes that takes time, especially if somebody's never even bought a gun online before. They're trying to figure out which FFL will accept it and things like that. And so it takes a little bit of time. So sometimes we'll get back somebody who buys all the time. They'll be like, oh, 72 hours, here you go. It's like, all right, cool, out the door it goes. And then sometimes it's like, guys, please bear with me. And as long as we give them a little bit of time, to look at their emails and check their junk email and stuff like that. And it's on a rare occasion where we, don't get somebody to respond, but it does happen. So make sure you guys are checking your email. By the way, if you find one in there in your junk box, from a couple months ago that says, congratulations, you won a Classic Firearms giveaway, it's not available to you anymore. So check your junk mail.
But they do give them away.
Yes. Believe me, we spend a lot of money on giving them away, that's for sure.
Well, and that's one thing you guys do, and they're nice. I mean, they're nice firearms.
Yeah.
And so what have we got right here on the table? I mean, this is definitely something that...
Yes, that is a, actually it is a, yes it is, So there's MG42s and MG53s, and that's a kit gun. We have the drum on the side. They're just awesome. They're just absolutely awesome, absolutely cool, 8mm.
But the first time I saw the barrel change on it was at Clash
Bash, exactly.
And I never do. First of all, the barrel looks like it belongs looks like a Volkswagen piece to a car,
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that makes kind of sense to Germans,
Agreed. I don't know if are you familiar with how that happens over here?
I've seen it.
Turn it around so you can show
I mean, because those things get so hot,
Yes,
they
you
have
have
to change
to.
them out.
Yeah, especially if they're ready to fire.
And actually, we saw somebody, a friend of mine, actually, do a quick change. With his bare hands,
And he's just
pulled it out.
Was it Cody?
running down the line, trying to get the barrel over to cool down and pour water through it. It was quite funny. But there's your gate, and you can actually see the barrel profiled on the side. So it literally just pops out. You rack it back, pop it, boom, goes right out.
Yeah, because those barrels would get so hot, they had to keep.
Well, it's 1,200 feet per second. 1,200 rounds per second, or minute, right? Isn't it something like that? 1,200 somewhere in there.
It's in that range. Yeah,
I mean,
it's the buzzsaw, right? It's the absolute buzzsaw. They actually had, I think, asbestos gloves came in kits for them to actually be able to grab those barrels and pull them out.
I'm sure.
So
that's just cool. Well, sometimes even suppressors, you need a glove.
Sometimes, that's for
sure, because
man.
they can't get hot.
Yeah, we'll be shooting a video sometimes, and we'll be over here like wanting to show the suppressor off, like maybe on a 10.3 to a 16-inch to a 20-inch, and it's sit there like, oh, I've only dumped a mag through it. It should be, it's not okay.
No, it heats up quick.
Yes, it does. So.
But this is where the magic happens right here, and you've even got, is that a microphone or is that a camera? The camera up top.
Yeah. I'm looking over here. That's a gun. We got for some of our top-down shots.
Right.
If we're doing when we did our build series, it was really cool, kind of like watching me screw up putting a gun together and getting that close-in look on it. I try to keep a straight face, Graham. Come on, now, aren't you? No. But no. So we got our mic set up over here, and when we think about like where we came from, like at the old warehouse, and you've been over there, you've seen it, man, and you did the tour there, and it's like, wow, right now we're in a workspace that was me, Ryan, and Katie's office at one point in time, like this right here, and then we moved into this facility, at about 1.5 2 years ago now. And it's been a big deal.
It's a beautiful facility, and of course we did a prior video about their production. It's amazing how, specific, and everything that comes in has a number, and they have it so automated. It's really cool, which makes it more efficient, and it makes sure that it gives you more confidence when you're ordering. So, I just think it's great.
Yeah, we take customer service very, very seriously, and we have an entire customer service team dedicated to the phones and online communication. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, look, we understand, you know, we went from that mom and pop, literally, with Ben and his wife.
Right.
And we wanted to keep that same type of, that vibe, right? We wanted to keep that same mentality and provide that same level of service to our customers. And as time progressed, we're able to do that more now with a little bit more technology. And when some people sometimes look at the integration of technology, they're like, well, how many jobs did you replace? Well, actually, maintaining that is a job in and itself.
Yeah.
And we've kept a very good number of staff on hand. We haven't lost anybody due to that. And what's actually that's allowing for people to do is to say, okay, cool, the machine's handling this part. Sweet, now I can go handle some duties over here, which is only going to be even more efficient for our end user, for our customers.
Right,
do,
right. And
cool.
the faster you get that product out, the faster they're going to reorder.
Yeah.
And that's just a known thing. So, and then if you keep that efficient, it just, again, it gives people confidence, but it also makes things, especially when you have to keep up with the paperwork that you guys have to keep up with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, it is a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a great look at the behind the scenes of Classic Firearms. I just thought you guys would enjoy it. I've enjoyed it. I remember the first time I came in, I was in awe, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
And just with what goes on here, and so. If we could get Ben on camera, we'd be doing really great. And I did get him on camera on the earlier video. But yeah, Ben's really busy, so he kind of stepped back to let Clint kind of lead the charge.
Yeah,
and he has a good crew with him.
Oh yeah, Ben. So he's been doing this, you know, for well over 30 years.
Yeah.
And when they saw that I would be, some people might disagree with this, but at least an okay fit for in front of the camera.
You're a great fit.
I appreciate it. He was like, you know what? You go do that video. I'm like, Ben, are you sure about that? And he would, you know, initially he would tell us 3 or 4 times, not good enough, to go do it again. Go do this, go do that, you know. And then eventually he started to kind of see like, oh, okay, Clint sometimes knows what he's talking about. I don't have to nitpick every little thing, you know. And but no, he's a fantastic boss and wonderful guy.
Oh, he is a great guy.
And and you know, it's an honor to work for him and this company too. And you know, again, I mean, I get to work with all sorts of cool people, cool things. Get to talk with guys like you and Graham here, and I mean, it's a good time. You know, it's in a blessed spot to be in too. And you know, again, Ryan behind the camera and a bunch of other wonderful people we get to work with. So it's cool.
And the one key factor is this guy can talk.
Obviously.
And talk.
It's almost like I'm paid to do that.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Again, I hope you enjoyed what's going on here at Classic. I've enjoyed it. It's always a great time. Also, when we were here earlier, we got to hang out with Larry Vickers a little bit. We're doing a podcast, and that'll be coming up on the Classic Firearms website. And so we're going to sign off. So be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
Long live the Republic.
Wait, one more second.
Okay, go ahead. You want to?
Okay, there we go.
Matt, come on, man. No, he didn't. We hadn't started yet.
That actually are, but you guys just think they might not be, is a laser for the night vision I don't own. Because, well, you never know just when somebody unexpected might show up for one. So there's that, but continuing on, sometimes it might get dark and you need to shine lights on things that don't belong. I don't know, but maybe depending on your optic that you're running, you might need to be able to see things that are getting in the way. Also, and to bear some of the weight that this gun doesn't have on it, having a nice sling like.
Hey, can you hold on a second? Can you take time out? Time out. I'm trying to do some video here, and you know.
I try to keep it together the best I could.
All right, that's good.